Welcome to Caracomp Insider, where high-tech facial recognition meets real-world intelligence.
When an AI tool tells you it's 94% accurate, that number might mean absolutely nothing. Because 94% could be true only for certain faces, in certain lighting, under certain conditions, and the score alone will never tell you that. And now, in Europe, pretending otherwise is against the law. Anyone who's ever unlocked a phone with their face has trusted one of these confidence numbers. We see a high percentage, and we relax. Big number must be reliable. If that instinct makes you a little uneasy, it should. But understanding what's actually changing is how you stop feeling powerless. Because Europe just rewrote the rules for high-risk AI systems, and the shift is enormous. The question is no longer, does the tool work? It's now, can you prove it was tested responsibly? So how does a law actually force that kind of proof? Let's start with what the European Union's AI Act really demands. According to the QA firm Applause, basic functional testing is no longer enough. For years, a company could run a system, see it produce good results, and call it done. That era is over for anything labeled high risk. Now organizations have to check the data feeding the model and prove that training data wasn't skewed against certain groups of people. For an investigator, that means the facial comparison tool on your desk had to demonstrate its training wasn't tilted toward one demographic. For the rest of us, it means the systems making decisions about our lives finally have to show their homework. The second piece is something called adversarial testing. In plain terms, that's deliberately trying to break the system before it ships. Engineers feed it the hardest possible cases: a face at an extreme angle, terrible lighting, a partly covered face, to find where it falls apart. Those messy conditions? They're exactly what real investigations run into every single day. A tool that was never stress tested that way is a tool that might fail the moment it matters most. Now, the part that reshapes how you should judge any AI tool. A high confidence score feels like proof. 95% sounds trustworthy, 60% sounds shaky. We believe that because confidence numbers are intuitive and easy to read. But that score is only what the model thinks about itself. It's not evidence of what the model actually does out in the world. A face matcher could return 95% all day long, but only for faces of one ethnicity or one lighting setup. The number says nothing about hidden bias baked into the training data. That's why the Act now requires organizations to test for those blind spots and document what they found. The last requirement is human oversight. The law says a person has to be able to understand the machine's reasoning, not just stare at a confidence score. A compliant tool has to explain why it made a match, so an operator can question it or overrule it. And to make sure this actually happens, there are teeth. Applause reports the worst violations can cost up to 35 million euros, or 7% of a company's global yearly revenue, whichever is larger. Break the core rules, and it's still up to 15 million or 3%. Those numbers turn testing from a nice idea into a survival requirement. And that's the real shift. The change isn't in how AI works. It's in who's responsible when it fails. For years, companies could shrug and say, "Quote, the algorithm decided." Now the law says, you chose it, you trained it, you tested it, or you didn't, and you own the result. So here's the whole thing in 3 sentences. A high accuracy number tells you what an AI thinks of itself, not whether it's fair or safe. Europe's new law forces companies to prove they tested for hidden bias, broke the system on purpose, and can explain its decisions. And if they can't prove it, the fines are big enough to end a business. Whether you carry a badge or just carry a phone, impressively accurate and provably responsible are 2 very different things now, and you can finally tell them apart. The full breakdown's in the show notes if you want the deep dive.
Now you know something most people in this industry don't. Use it. And when you're ready to put it to work, Caracomp.com. We'll see you tomorrow.